Sarah Chen had been a nurse in the ICU for 5 years, but she'd never had a patient quite like room 407. The man, identified only as John Doe from his hospital bracelet, had been in a coma for 3 months following a severe car accident. No family had come forward. No friends. No one. Every day, Sarah provided his care with the same professionalism she gave all her patients. But with John Doe, she did something extra. She talked to him. "Good morning," she'd say during her rounds. "It's Tuesday. The weather's nice today, sunny, which is rare for November. I'm going to check your vitals now." Other nurses thought it was pointless. "He can't hear you," they'd say. "We don't know that," Sarah always replied. "And even if he can't, it costs me nothing to treat him like a person instead of a body." As weeks turned to months, Sarah's one-sided conversations became more personal. She'd tell him about her day, about the book she was reading, about her struggles as a single mother raising her 6-year-old daughter Lily alone. "I'm tired today," she admitted one evening while adjusting his for. "Lily had a rough night, bad dreams. My ex-husband forgot to send child support again. I'm working double shifts just to make rent. But you know what? Lily drew a picture of us as superheroes today. She said I'm her hero because I help people. That made everything worth it." One night, 3 months into his coma, Sarah was checking on him during her shift when she noticed his hand twitch. She immediately called for the doctor. Over the next hour, John Doe began showing more signs of consciousness. And then, his eyes opened. The medical team rushed in, running tests, checking responses. John Doe was awake, but confused, disoriented. When things calmed down, Sarah approached his bedside. "Welcome back," she said gently. "I'm Sarah, one of your nurses. You've been unconscious for 3 months. You're safe. You're in the hospital. We're taking care of you." John Doe looked at her, and tears started rolling down his face. "Sarah," he whispered, his voice hoarse from months of disuse. "I heard you. Every day. Your voice. It was the only thing keeping me from drifting away completely." Sarah felt her breath catch. "You heard me? Everything. Lily's superhero drawing. Your ex-husband's child support. The book about the lighthouse keeper. Tuesday's weather. You talked to me like I was a person when I couldn't even prove I was still in there. You gave me something to hold on to." Over the following days, as John Doe, whose real name turned out to be Marcus Bennett, recovered, he shared what it had been like. Being trapped in darkness, unable to move or speak, but hearing voices around him. Most people talked about him, not to him. "Except Sarah. When you talked to me, it was different," Marcus said during one of her visits. "You saw a person, and your voice became my anchor. When I wanted to give up, to just drift away, I'd wait for your shift because I knew you'd come talk to me. Tell me about your day. Remind me that the world was still out there, still turning, still worth fighting to get back to." As Marcus's memory returned, so did his past. He was a successful architect who'd been driving to a meeting when a drunk driver hit him. He had no family. His parents had passed away years ago. He'd never married, had no children. He'd been alone in his success, much like Sarah was alone in her struggles. 3 weeks after waking up, Marcus was strong enough to be transferred to a rehabilitation facility. On his last day in the ICU, he asked to speak with Sarah privately. "I need to thank you properly," he said. "Not just for the medical care, but for treating me like a human being. For talking to me. For being the voice that kept me tethered to life. You don't need to thank me. I was just doing my job." "No, you went beyond your job. And I want to do something for you if you'll let me. I heard about your struggles, the child support, the double shifts, the challenges with Lily. I want to help." "Marcus, I can't accept, please. Let me set up a college fund for Lily. Let me help with your expenses while you get on your feet. Not as charity, but as gratitude for saving my life." "I didn't save your life. The doctors kept my body alive. You kept my spirit alive. There's a difference." Sarah accepted his help, though reluctantly. But what started as gratitude evolved into friendship. Marcus would call to check on her, not as a patient to a nurse, but as someone who genuinely cared. He met Lily, who immediately declared him nice, and showed him her superhero drawing. Your mom is a hero, Marcus told Lily seriously. She saved me by talking to me when I couldn't talk back. That's what real heroes do, they show up even when no one's watching. 6 months after Marcus woke up, he invited Sarah and Lily to his architecture firm's open house. There, he unveiled his latest project, a new wing for the hospital where Sarah worked, specifically designed with ICU patients in mind. I designed this based on what I learned while I was in a coma, Marcus explained to the gathered crowd. Better natural light, spaces for families to stay close, and in every room, a system that lets nurses record messages for unconscious patients. So even when the nurse isn't there, patients can hear a familiar voice. Because voices matter, connection matters. Being treated like a person matters. He looked at Sarah. A nurse named Sarah taught me that. She talked to me every day for 3 months when I was in a coma. She told me about her life, her daughter, her struggles. She gave me something to hold on to when I had nothing else. This wing is dedicated to her and to all the nurses who see their patients as people, not just bodies. A year after Marcus woke up, he proposed to Sarah, not in some grand gesture, but quietly, in her living room while Lily slept in the next room. You were my voice in the darkness, Marcus said. You talked to me when talking seemed pointless. You treated me with dignity when I couldn't respond. You showed me what compassion really means. Sarah, I don't just love you. I trust you with my life, literally. Will you marry me? At their wedding, Lily served as flower girl and gave a toast. Mr. Marcus was sleeping for a really long time, and nobody came to visit him. But my mom talked to him every day anyway. She said even if he couldn't talk back, he was still a person who deserved kindness. And when he woke up, he remembered everything she said. So you should always be kind to people even if they can't say thank you. Because maybe they're listening, and maybe they'll remember, and maybe they'll become your family. Sometimes the voice in the darkness becomes the voice you want to hear forever. Sometimes talking to someone who can't respond plants seeds that bloom when they finally can. Sometimes professional compassion evolves into personal love. And sometimes, the patient you care for in their most vulnerable moment becomes the person who stands beside you in your strongest. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it. Subscribe for more stories about compassion, dignity, and unexpected connections. Leave a comment about the power of treating everyone with humanity. Your stories inspire us all.